Strangely enough, fasting is still a contentious subject. Most people I know do not practice it in any meaningful form. When I mention that I do it, the reactions are diverse genres of dismissal, such as anything beyond 3 days is dangerous, or simply, what for? Those few who do accept the health benefits of fasting either say, I'm not able to do it, or do it rarely, insisting that fasting should be done in specialized resorts and overseen by doctors. Okay, I know a couple of persons who both agree on health benefits and practice it. For me personally, there is no shade of doubt about the benefits of fasting. There is strong scientific evidence that fasting works very well for a number of health aspects, from strengthening immune system and improving hormonal balance to contributing to mental health. 159 years have passed since Mark Twain wrote, "A little starvation can really do more for the average sick man than can the best medicines and the best doctors." Mark Twain being himself used humor to deliver the message, but this observation came from his reporting on shipwrecked men in Hawaii back in the time. That observation is as true today as it was back in 1866. The difference being that by now there's strong scientific evidence that fasting is good for health. And it's not a coincidence that all major religions have fasting rituals as an integral part of the religious practice. There are so many people who live their lives obese and sick. In most cases, something as simple as properly structured fasting could solve their sickness problem. But they never do it. Why? The possible answer is that nobody teaches it. You won't see any advertisements for fasting. There's no way Big Food or Big Pharma can make money from a person who fasts. The person who fasts does not consume any food. You cannot sell him junk food at high markup and make profit. From business perspective, such person is the worst, much worse than a person who does sports. To a person who does sports, one can sell sports clothes, gear, and try to sell some supplements. But a person who fasts won't need even that. So the person who fasts brings no profit for corporations. That's the reason nobody will promote fasting. The only beneficiary is the person who fasts itself. And therefore the individual must discover the benefits of fasting themselves. That said, fasting requires skill. As always, the devil is in the details. Too little will give no effect, too much will do harm. Just like exercise, there is no precise manual how much fasting is optimal. Such universal manual is impossible because the fasting is a very individual experience and very dependent on individual circumstances. For example, for me, I'm unable to do long fasts in cold climate. I just cannot. If I try, stress hormones go in overdrive, and the feeling is that I'm starting to lose my mind. I cannot focus on anything, and I definitely lose sleep. Yet, in warm and sunny climate, I can fast for many days without any major discomfort at all. Then, how much fast is good? Days, hour? Again, very individual. But generally, in my opinion, everybody benefits from acquiring a skill of being able to fast 72 hours. My approach is that biomarkers are the guide from establishing a healthy dose of fasting. Non-invasive biomarkers from, say, Oura Ring or Garmin watch are good enough. As long as sleep and readiness is good, the fast is beneficial to you and you're good to continue. If you lose sleep and get terribly hungry or anxiety kicks in, it's time to stop even if the goal is not hit. That's my approach. What is the maximum length of a fast before its effects turn from positive to negative? Depends on goals. Like once I was experimenting with 20-day fast. I stopped after 14 days. Why? There were different metrics I followed in addition to usual ones like sleep quality. I was monitoring body composition daily. I was looking at what happens to muscle mass and body fat as the fast goes on. I had predetermined that if there are 2 consecutive days when I burn more muscle than fat, I'll stop the fast. I even did full workout on day 10, under the premise that exercise will help maintain muscle mass while burning fat. That's nonsense told by people who don't know what they're talking about. Exercise didn't help at all to preserve muscle mass. From day 12, all the loss was muscle mass only. For the last 2 days of the fast, I was burning just muscle mass and no fat at all. All body energy needs were covered by burning down muscle mass while preserving fat. Of course, it was something I didn't want. So I stopped the fast at day 14. In hindsight, and somewhat counterintuitive to uninitialized, burning muscle while keeping fat is very logical during such a prolonged fasted state. The most primitive part of our brain, which takes over in extreme stress, and a fast, which lasts 10, 12 or more days, is an extreme stress. So that primitive part of brain, often called lizard brain, takes over, and it has only one task: maximize the probability of survival in an extreme stress situation. By that calculation, in a deep starvation state, where the body is deprived of nutrients and energy sources, the lizard brain treats fat as more valuable than muscle. That is logical. Muscle uses energy and will burn down whatever energy sources are left there, leading to sooner death. Fat, on the contrary, uses no energy and is stored energy. More fat means more energy and longer survival time without any food. Since my constant goal is to improve body composition, and fast is only one tool in the complex of measures, by now I've restricted my typical fast time to maximum 5 to 6 days and never exceeding 10 days. I just don't want to sacrifice muscle mass, which leads to a different form of fast: dry fast. That's when the concept of hydration during fasts is thrown out the window. Dry fasting means no consumption of any liquids either. Having no water, tea, or coffee during fast goes contrary to the mainstream advice, which states, stay hydrated. But what brought me to deeper dive into the subject of dry fasting was a number of potential benefits when compared to regular water fast. The promise of dry fasting is substantially less muscle mass loss. If in regular fast muscle mass and fat burn is about 50 to 50, then in dry fast that proportion is closer to 75 to 25. In other words, muscle mass loss in about 2 times less during dry fast. That's a major benefit of proven true. The explanation is that in dry fasted state, the body has to burn down fat not only for energy needs, but also to obtain water. Additional advantage of dry fast is that it presumably eliminates viruses and toxins, something that does not happen during regular water fasting. All that is theory, at least. The research on dry fasting, in contrast to water fasting, is scarce. My insights came from Sergei Filonov's book. He's like OG of dry fasting, and the logic of arguments seemed compelling. So, I started to experiment with dry fasting. If dry fast gives me the same benefits as water fast, but allows me to preserve muscle mass better and burn toxins and viruses, I'm in. No downside, just upside. It took me a couple of tries to break 72-hour fasting barrier, a barrier which was purely psychological. The concept that a human cannot live without water for more than 3 days was very ingrained into my mind since I was a kid. They teach it in school, and doctors repeat it. And that's BS, of course, like a lot of other things they tell. Yet, the first couple of times as I hit 72 hours of dry fast, the indoctrinated belief gave me doubts. Am I due to die any moment now? I didn't feel like dying. The opposite was true. I felt great. By now I have done my dry fasting sessions, and in my experience it does not feel much different from a regular water fast. Maybe a bit less energy. I don't train in dry fasted state, but I do train during water fasts. Yet I can still go for 6 to 7 hours long walks in dry fasted state. But no, I don't die after 3 days without any water or food. The teachers and doctors were lying. How can I trust them about anything else they say if I caught them lying about this? So, here we get to the dry fast diary. I look at fasting as something necessary, just like exercising. I time my fasts so they do not interfere much with the rest of my life. And there was a week in late November and early December where not much was going on, and it seemed like an ideal time and place to do it. I was in Barcelona. And in Barcelona, I can get enough sun, which for me is indispensable during fasts, dry or not. So I gave it a go and wrote down the fast diary in real time, as it happened to document the sensations and feelings. The diary is written in present tense, and I maintain it here going forward. What follows is the diary. Day 1. I started dry fast on Saturday at 4:15 in the afternoon. The intention is to go for full 7 days to complete the fast on Friday next week. The fast is part of healing process after a week-long travel, where I digressed from my regular healthy diet and exercise regimen and had low biomarker readings every day during the travel. Since I consume plenty of non-biodynamic produce, water fast is not enough, as a water fast will not remove harmful substances such as glyphosate and hydrogenated seed oils, ingested from outright harmful food like bread, chips, French fries. Dry fast will remove those substances. At least that's the theory. The length of dry fast is set based on rule of thumb, whereas 1 day of feast with unhealthy food is offset by 1 day of dry fast, hence a 7-day dry fast, immediately following 7 days of travel, involving loose eating and drinking habits. Another goal is to drive down fat content in the body composition. I'm in optimal weight range, but there is still some visceral fat I would prefer to get rid of to unveil six-pack. That belly fat remains a challenge. It stubbornly sticks around even after 14 days of water fast. During that water fast, starting from day 12, all the body mass reduction was muscle mass only, but not fat. Apparently, in an extreme stress situation like having no food for more than 10 days, the body treats fat as more valuable than muscle mass. Fat ensures energy for survival, while muscle mass consumes energy. I have visceral fat within what is considered healthy range, and trying to remove it in small steps through trial and error. The 1-week feast the previous days has not done any visible damage, but I expect that the after-feast healing, which includes this 7-day fast, will be one of those small steps. I completed a full workout less than an hour before the start of the fast. I'm planning to do 2 lighter workouts during this 7-day period, which will be Rush Fit Balance and Agility workout on day 3, and Rush Fit Stretching for Flexibility workout on day 6. It is unknown if I will be able to do the workouts. I've done 7-day dry fast before and ended day 7 with very good biomarkers, but could not sleep the next day. Previous time during the 7-day dry fast, I was walking in nature every day. Still, dry fast is a huge challenge for me. Note at 11:39 p.m. Earlier went for a 2-hour walk in the city. The poor air quality was disappointing, as always. Day 2, Sunday, 4:28 p.m., 25 hours into fast. The morning readings on Aura are good. Readiness 79, sleep 73, activity 93. Sleep could have been better if not delayed till 2:30 a.m. for circumstances beyond my control. I feel lack of energy. It's Sunday and sunny outdoors. I went for a walk and covered 15.5 kilometers. When I started walking, soon I had the sensation that the body is producing more heat than in non-fasted state. I had the same sensation when out hiking during dry fast in January this year. That was 10 months ago. Day 3, Monday, 1:30 p.m. Slept well, my usual optimal sleep time, which is about 7.5 hours. Biomarkers are not available as our ring battery was discharged. I'm feeling good, better than yesterday. Could do my regular count of Archer push-ups and more than usual count of both diamond push-ups and Sphinx push-ups. Good, particularly in the context of that yesterday. After the walk, I was not able to do even a single Sphinx push-up. Energy level seems much better than yesterday. Took my usual cold shower today. I'm feeling cold most of the day. Even indoors, I have put on icebreaker merino wool sweater and shoes. Feeling cold is a usual occurrence during dry fast. A very noticeable acetone smell present in my mouth, much stronger than during water fasts. Difficulty to sit for a long time, standing, walking, or laying down is just fine. As usual, laying down is particularly gratifying. Sitting will become more challenging as the fast goes on. It is related to gallbladder function being in overdrive. No back pain at the moment, just light pressure on the right side of rib cage. That's where gallbladder-induced pain is located during long fasts. Day 4, Tuesday. 7:19 a.m. 64 hours into fast, good sleep. 6 hours 50 minutes. All biomarkers in optimal area. Readiness at 86, sleep quality at 94, activity at 87. Sleep was at 89 when waking up, but the reading improved further after about 45-minute meditation. I feel good, no major side effects. The fasting goes well so far. Now I will try how balance and agility workout feels. Readiness. Reading in an optimal area, even if I've been going with 0 calories and 0 liquids for more than 63 hours while remaining physically active, walking, doing abs exercises and push-ups. 12:46 p.m. Completed workout. I had to pause the training video many times. Cardio in fasted state is not feasible. Whenever the heart rate gets higher than 120, T becomes unbearable and possibly dangerous to push those limits. Was somewhat lame workout, done maybe at 75% intensity, if compared to what can be done in non-fasted state. But then it is success in itself to be able to do workout on 65th hour of dry fast. At times the workout felt like being done in a car paint shop for strong and persistent acetone smell and breath. Feeling great, no issues at all. Went for a short walk to get sun exposure. Day 5, Wednesday, 7:47 a.m. 88 hours into dry fast. URA readings are readiness 81, sleep 79, activity 82. Feeling very well. No side effects. Good energy level. Did 28 archer push-ups, more than benchmark 24 17 diamond push-ups. From now on, every night of good sleep is another day of good fast. The whole morning routine, meditation, push-ups, cold showers completed before 8 a.m. In contrast to yesterday morning, I feel no acetone smell in breath. Day 6, Thursday, 10:49 a.m. I've been fasting for 155 hours, feeling remarkably well. Did all 3 sets of various push-ups and 7 abs exercises, 30 archer push-ups with very good form, no new high on diamond push-ups, and fail on sphinx push-ups, could do only 5. I'm thinking that I'll develop a reflex of bad feelings about the smell of acetone. It is present in the breath all the time. Sleep was more problematic than yesterday. Went to sleep at about 10:30 p.m. and woke up at 3 a.m., did meditation and some reading, and fell asleep for another 2 or 2.5 hours. So, the total sleep hour count is still good at about 6.5 to 7 hours. Today it will be difficult to get sun exposure. I managed to catch some sunshine yesterday. It's cloudy outside, but probably the sun will come out. I really crave sun exposure. Walking more than an hour yesterday was a problem. For others, I probably looked like slightly drunk, and I was feeling mild lack of coordination. Is it true that alcohol is released as liver produces ketone bodies? As well, after an hour of walk, there is uncomfortable pulling sensation in the upper back, around liver area. No pain, but discomfort. However, anything what could be called pain is absent. Apparently, gallbladder has adapted by now and functioning better than during the previous fasts. So far, there's no problem at all. Today, I notice for the first time visible hanging skin in the belly area. That's good. The belt was comfortably on hole 3 when I started fasting. Now it is on hole 4 comfortably, or even on hole 5, which seems to be biological limit for me. Given the current good feeling, I'm entertaining the idea to extending the fast to 8 days to push it beyond the previous high mark when my dry fast was 7 days and 14 hours, or even 10 days, which will be the hard stop. All depends on how I feel. At this moment, I can say that I will complete 7 days, maybe 8 or even 10. All depends if I can manage sleep and exercise. If there will be any sleepless night, I'll cut the fast. Losing sleep would mean that body is overflowing with stress hormones, and the fast is starting to do more harm than good. If there will be any day where I am not able to complete some elementary exercise like push-ups at benchmark count or comfortably walk 10,000 steps, that means that I cannot preserve muscle mass, and weight loss is only muscle mass burned for energy. I have no measuring equipment at hand now, but in a previous water fast, I found out that after day 10, body loses more muscle than fat, even if one exercises in such deep fasted state. I don't need the body to go in so extreme survival state that it treats fat as more valuable for keeping the body alive and burns all the muscle for energy instead. No, I don't need it. In that state, body is overflowed by stress hormones and bring no health benefit. As of today, all good. I can do exercises in good form and repetitions like in regular fed state, as long as it is not anything cardio with heart rate over 120 beats per minute. Tomorrow morning I've planned stretching session which will be rush fit. Stretching for flexibility set of exercises. A big problem is air contamination. It causes discomfort in dry fasted state when all senses are more sensitive. Indeed, dry fasting must be done in clean environment. Dr. Filonov is right about it. Dry fasting is to be done breathing only clean, pure air. By the way, I just looked up on internet that Dr. Filatov is organizing dry fasting tours in Altai, Russia, and Montenegro. With war in Ukraine going on and a brutal regime in place in Russia, good luck for trying to travel to Altai in Russia. I will not do it. That would be a risk to get in jail for no reason, for not aligning with the Russian fascist regime. The fasting tour in Montenegro is for 12 days and priced at €2,000. Montenegro is an acceptable place and easy to travel to, but I'm already on dry fast. Barcelona is a large city with significant air pollution, but I take smaller streets and avenues with less traffic. That's still far from good. Too much exposure to air pollution, and it is very uncomfortable during a dry fasted state. Fortunately, Retiro Park is bearable in terms of air quality. 4:22 p.m., completed day 5, and started day 6 of this dry fasting session. The subject of fasting is taking over the mind in this deep fasted state. I'm reading some stuff on internet. I stumbled on some article about Longevity Investors Conference in Gstaad in the Swiss Alps. $4,500 ticket price and admittance only for those who have millions or even billions to invest. I don't believe they have anything there what is not available for free, or nearly free to anybody. I do this dry fasting to enhance my health, immunity, longevity. No supplement can achieve this. At that conference, somebody presents an oxygen device. Nice try, but far better oxygen can be found while hiking in the mountains, like Pyrenees. Although that oxygen mask for office is probably okay, but then why not get out of that environment in the first case? To get out of the office environment where one needs such an oxygen device to breathe through mask? Another site I visit repeatedly is Dr. Filonov's website about dry fasting tours in Montenegro. Okay, I just saved €2,000 plus travel expenses. Since I feel great on my 6th day of dry fasting, I likely don't need mentorship or advice on this matter. However, I have 2 issues with this ongoing fast: boredom and deprivation of pleasure of eating. Boredom is that I'm not meeting any people in person, as I'm not confident of the smell in breath. Bad breath is very natural when in deep ketosis, but it's hardly good for social interactions in person. Focus on any work is still good, but it is somewhat more difficult to concentrate. When in dry fast, it is such a big issue for the body that it draws a lot of attention to monitoring sensations. Pleasure of eating is an issue. I have regular visualizations of good food, kefir, marinated gherkins, good meat, goat cheese, all biodynamic, of course. If I fail extending this fast, it will be because of pursuit of this pleasure factor. Not hunger, not thirst, not side effects such as pain or whatever. I don't have those. I feel very well, with good energy level, but I'm willing to have pleasure from eating, which can make me cut this fast. Okay, too early to judge. Still nearly 48 hours to go, and 120 hours already done. Another visualization, a somewhat uncomfortable one. What will I do after the fast, when socializing and out for dinner with other people? I don't mind if it's vegan or carnivore. I only care that it's clean food from biodynamic produce. And there is no biodynamic food available in restaurants. The same about wine and beer. What will I do? Anybody who does 7 days of dry fast to burn out toxins will abhor food from commercially farmed produce. Or should I go with the flow? like in the recent trip, and fast all the toxins out later. That's suboptimal, does not sound good. So there is a certain confusion, if not mild fear, about the situation. I have no good solution for this issue at the moment, but I will figure out some behavior protocol for this. Day 7, Friday, 9:56 a.m. I'm in dry fasted state for 138 hours now. I'm feeling remarkably well. Aura readings are readiness 82, sleep 82, activity 82. Looks like it's 82 day. Values of all the readings are at 82. That's good, a notch below optimal. 85 is considered a threshold for optimal, and having reading of 82, be it readiness or sleep, after 6 days of having no food and water is impressive. Apparently, the body is doing a lot of healing and gets better. Sleep measure is counterintuitive. I felt like not sleeping at all till 2 a.m., then woke up, did not fight insomnia, but at some point put on an hour-long meditation. The meditation track was Joe Dispenza's Rising Water meditation. Apparently, somewhere 20 minutes into the meditation track, I fell asleep. Good, that was the goal. Woke up again at 5:30 a.m. and was surprised about the hour. I have imagined a few hours less than that. When I went to sleep at my regular time at around 10:30 p.m., I was thinking that, quote unquote, now it starts, meaning that I felt like an onset of unavoidable insomnia. But reality turned out better than expected. This morning, I'm through my morning routine. Meditation, some workout, cold shower. Workout was rush fit stretching for flexibility. That's a workout not requiring any cardio. I noticed that flexibility has increased. Before that, I did the regular set of push-ups, improvement to 32 for archer push-ups, regular count on diamond push-ups, and fail on sphinx push-ups. I do archer push-ups for benchmarking, and today is a new high. So the strength has selectively increased during this long fast. By now it's clear that I will complete the full 7 days, regardless of how I sleep tonight. Tomorrow is Saturday, and I'll do my regular Sabbath day walk over the mountain. We'll eat upon return, unless we'll feel like going for another day. If I do that, it would be for my ego with intention to exceed the previous record's 7.5 day days. I put record in quotation marks. Why would I need a new personal record for dry fast duration? The only concern is to guess what is the optimal length of fasting. And of course, there is an inflection point when benefits disappear and too long fasting starts to hurt immune system or excessively burns down muscle mass. So, the most likely scenario is that I will cut the fast tomorrow, followed by 2 or 3 refeeding days. After that, probably followed by a regular water fast a few days, and start looking for the most efficient protocol to put on more muscle mass. Day 7, Saturday, 6:48 a.m., 159 hours fasting. I'm feeling great. Aura biomarker readings are very good. Readiness 84, sleep 81, activity 81. I will not extend the fast. I'll break the fast in 9.5 hours when the full 168 hour, 7 days target is hit. Biomarkers look good. The previous time on day 7 morning biomarkers were good as well and plummeted on day 8. Here are a bit more details on the main biomarkers. Sleep. Reading of 81 implies good sleep, just a notch below optimal. Yet the sleep story tonight was far from smooth. I fell asleep at 9:49 p.m., woke up 2 hours later at 11:46 p.m. At midnight, I started a long meditation and apparently fell back into sleep in about the first 15 to 20 minutes into meditation track to wake up again 3 hours later at 3 a.m. Then I tried a different meditation combined with a breathing pattern to fall asleep. No success. Last-ditch effort was at 4:20 a.m. when I took ice-cold shower for a few minutes, then went back to free-form meditation, but focused mostly on breathing for sleep. Success. Squeezed out nearly 1.5 hours more sleep time to wake up at 6 a.m. Aura shows 6 hours and 29 minutes sleep time. The average sleep time for the last 7 days is 6 hours 49 minutes. Readiness as reported by Aura app. If to look at the headline figure of 84, just a point below borderline optimal, It may look as if I'm ready to go for a hard workout, which, of course, I'm not. This is an infliction point where the body is overflooded with stress hormones, and if to continue the fast, the state will turn counterproductive health-wise. To squeeze out a good sleep reading tonight, I had to apply all the instrumentarium: meditation, breathing, cold water shower. From experience, I know that the next time even that will not help. Even if the principal goal of the fast was to burn out toxins and maximize autophagy for cleansing, I'm happy with the body composition change as a pleasant side effect. Visually, it looks like I have not lost muscle mass. On my benchmark, morning push-ups set today were new high on my benchmark archer push-ups, 34 versus 32 yesterday. Diamond push-ups, 20, all-time high. Fail on Sphinx push-ups, just 5 on the first try. I choose dry fast for the added benefit of burning out toxins and viruses and preserving muscle mass. My estimate of the effect from dry fast is about 2.5 times better versus regular water fast. Others give an estimate of a factor of 3. Muscle mass burn is about 2 times less than in regular water fast. Hunger. I have no physical feeling of hunger, but I have non-stop visualization of food for the last couple of days. The same true for thirst, water. Today I have a visualization of a bottle of chilled Vichy Catalan sparkling water and a Fuji apple next to it. Prunes on pieces of goat cheese. I've restocked yesterday with high-quality biodynamic food yesterday. The next few hours it is a risk. Having good food around multiplies the risk of slipping. I will get out for the weekend walk in about 4 hours. To walk, to refrain from work of any kind, from digital distractions, get sun exposure, a pleasurable walk. I started this fast with such walk the previous Saturday, and I will complete it with similar walk, but I expect this walk to be easier. More power as body is fully fat adapted, in comparison to the previous time when it was on the second day of switching from burning glucose to burning fat. Second day of any fast is always the hardest. By third day, the body already has adapted to burning fat, and discomfort goes away. Today's walk will be psychologically very easy, as on return home the proverbial carrot awaits. The carrot being the prize of being able to have a sip of water and a bit of food for the first time in 7 days. Have there been any side effects? Amazingly, but side effects have been very few. Previously, during longer fasts, I had pronounced gallbladder-induced upper back pain. This time it was absent. Gallbladder apparently has adapted very well. For days, during longer walks, more than 1 hour each, there is like a pulling feeling in upper back, and I presume it is for liver working in overdrive. But that feeling can be better described as discomfort rather than pain. Acetone smell in the breath was more pronounced than during any other fast I've made. I really would not like to go for a face-to-face meetings during such a long fast. General weakness, lack of power for physical exercise was pronounced only on the second day, which is always the hardest in any longer fast, be it dry fast or regular water fast. Second day being the hardest is the only parameter unchanged over the years of practicing fasting. The fact that dry fast goes with little side effects implies low level of toxins in fat. Otherwise, the released toxins from burned down fat can even put a man in coma. Or worse, some other sources say one can even die from the released toxins. I'm happy to learn that my toxin levels were low enough to not cause any problem. Some fun hindsights. First, whenever going to the loo during dry fast, I cannot stop thinking that all the discharge equals weight loss, primarily from fat and toxins being eliminated. Second, voice timbre lowers substantially, while dry mouth symptom is absent due to consistent nasal breathing. Third, during fast, I've looked up how gin, the alcoholic drink, is made and found out that it is from grains. Now the impression is that virtually all hard liquor is dirty, in the sense that it is made from regular grains, not grown on biodynamic farms. Fourth, no bowel movement in these 7 days. Fifth, no desire for intercourse, not even a single time in a week. The latter two can hardly be described as fun, though. Notes from the last walk before breaking the fast. I went for a walk. The walk was in a city environment, but I was aiming for parks. It helped that traffic was less as it was a weekend. 17 kilometers in 4.5 hours. The difficulty of the walk, due to side effects of fasting, was about the same as the 2-hour walk I did on the second day of fasting, although the energy level was probably even higher on this day 7 of fasting than on day 2. I noticed very sharply all the smells so typical to city environment. By far, most of those smells were chemical and unpleasant in this fasted state. For example, whatever cleaning liquid they use in shops, I could smell it on the street without going into any shop. On a couple of occasions, after steep stairs, I was pondering on probability of sudden fainting. Climbing up the stairs was tough. This was not the first time when I was thinking that fasting helps posture, but this was an extreme illustration of this. There was quite uncomfortable pain in chest area, both in chest and upper back. That pain became very acute whenever a straight back posture is not maintained. The pain is related to liver and gallbladder function. Those organs work in overdrive when in fasted state. They have to do all the work to produce energy, ketone bodies from fat. Breaking the fast, I ate an apple, drunk some sparkling water, followed by kefir about 20 minutes later, and prunes, nuts, goat cheese about an hour later. One mistake was to drink the water chilled. I was shaking uncontrollably for a minute or so. The water after such a long dry fast must be room temperature, not from the fridge. That's it. That's my diary of 7-day water fast. I'm happy how it went. The results, the sensations during the fast. All was fine and much needed. I look at fasting as a skill and a necessity, just like exercising. A skill once acquired serves a lifetime. Fasting is an indispensable tool in the instrumentarium of a healthy lifestyle. No doubt about it. Opinions differ what is optimal time and frequency of fasts. How many days is an optimal fast? Speaking from my empirical experience, 72 hours is a safe bet for everybody. On the third day, autophagy is at maximum. Autophagy, in simpler words, is burning out the bad stuff. If to extend the fast beyond 3 days, a profound beneficial effect on immune function and hormonal system takes place. Metabolic health gets a major boost as the body has switched fully from burning glucose to burning fat for energy. That happens on day 4 and 5. During day 6 and day, the same processes remain in place as cortisol rises to mobilize energy reserves, but with no significant psychological stress. I currently use 7 days as a hard stop for my fasts. The experience suggests that for fast longer than 8 days, stress hormones take over, insomnia kicks in, and the body begins burning excessive amounts of muscle mass. As a rule of thumb, when it comes to fasting time beyond 3 days, is to terminate the fast if you either want to eat or lose sleep. I usually have a fasting goal, but it's never written in stone. Feeling physical hunger is usually not a problem, beyond second day of fasting as the body has switched to getting its energy from fat reserves. But losing sleep may be a problem. I would never continue a fast if it leads to insomnia. If there is a sleepless night while fasting, it's a sure sign to stop, regroup, and start again later.